So the major entrepreneurial principle in this conversation is
Surround yourself with better people than you.
no, not better people.
Calmer.
Hire people that love and are good at the things that we suck at, because we don't know if we hate it because we suck at it or if we suck at it because we hate it. So, Brandon,
What can I do for you today, sir?
you're my first solo guest
Wow.
on the Rick Hopper Show.
I cannot be more honored.
So this is actually not the Rick Hopper Show.
It's not.
This is the Brandon Rainone Show today.
I would like to
Stop looking at your phone.
thank you very much for having me on today.
You can't do it.
and know that,
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you.
go ahead. I'll just put my phone upside down.
That's all right.
What
And
about
you know,
that?
I don't care how much. As a matter of fact, if the phone rings,
I'll stop.
I have a rule.
Go ahead.
No. If the phone rings, you have to answer it
On
live
TV.
on TV.
All right.
Okay. I don't care which mob they're from.
Great.
Okay.
You said it. Can you edit that
okay.
part out?
Just for the record, I'm going to look right at the camera and I'm going to say, this guy is Brandon Rainone. I thought he was an aberration and a figment of Bill Teeter's mind because I'd never met him for years. He was this guy he talked very highly of. This guy, he's, all this stuff you do. We don't have to get into that.
Right.
But so when we got done with Read Arrest, Bill was available to go do some other stuff. And I always said that Bill Teeter, and anybody who hasn't ever met Bill Teeter, I met him when he was 18. He was dating my daughter.
Still looks the same to this day.
Pretty much. No. I got a picture to prove that's not even true.
Okay.
He says he still looks 18, but he was 18. He looked 10.
Got it.
There's
yeah.
that.
Perfect.
Okay, so Brandon.
Usually when I was 15, I looked 30. When I was 20, I looked 40. When I was 40, I looked 60, 40.
No,
All right, good.
no. Huh. When I was 35, people would ask me how old I am.
Right.
And they would look at me because I already had gray hair when I was 35.
Yeah.
They'd say, how old are you? I go, how old do you think I am? And they're like, well, I'd be like 50. I go, 62. They're like, oh my God, you look great for 62.
I used to always play
because
that
I'm
game.
fucking 35. Anyway, Brandon thinks bigger than most people you'll ever meet. And it's because he vibrates and his mind is rotating at a very high speed. I almost feel bad for you sometimes, bro, because I watch you walk around my parking lot screaming and yelling and cursing and so excited about what you're doing because you only have one speed.
Yeah.
Should anybody feel bad for you?
It's the fact of the matter is that I don't know another speed. Like I was always raised from when I was, a boy that you have to be in fifth gear and you have to always outperform any day, anytime, anybody that ever comes between you and your ultimate goal. And I'm always under the perception that you have to work harder. You don't have to be smarter. You just have to work harder than anybody else around you.
Lucky for you.
I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Thank God.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing right now. I mean, we could spend hours talking about the things you've done in the past.
Yeah.
Some of which you're not entirely proud of. Well, you're supposed to say that anyway.
Well, I mean, listen, it's amazing that I didn't go to college. I barely made it through high school. And I am where I'm at today. And if I were to give any lessons to the younger generation is to fail as many times as you can, because the best thing that you come out of when you fail is how not to do it again.
One way I've heard that same thing put is the worst partner that you can ever partner with is somebody who has never loved nor lost. In other words, somebody who has not had the crap kicked out of them, somebody who's not failed and learned from it. You want somebody that's been through it and failed. I get it.
I tell my daughter all the time, you have to be in a team sport because you have to know what it feels like to lose. Because if you don't understand what it's like to lose, you'll never be able to win.
I get it. So let's talk a little bit about the project you're working on right now. You guys started this. I remember a couple of years ago, you were talking a lot about this ecosystem you were going to create.
Yep.
You're going to create the demand, or you're going to buy some demand so that you can, because you're going to buy some supply and then create this ecosystem where you have supply, demand, and then access to the goods. What are you working on?
I was in the restaurant industry. I am in the restaurant industry for the last 30 years. And every single day, every single week, I would go out and I would look at my numbers every morning. At 5 o'clock in the morning, I'd wake up, I'd see last night's numbers. And so on March 17th, 2020, I got absolutely zero reports from all of my restaurants. And
The loudest silence you've ever experienced in your life.
when there were no emails that were on my phone at 5 o'clock in the morning, it was kind of deafening. It was just a shell shock. And I had a environmental testing facility that was testing soil and water for farmers. And, the farmers got shut down and people were, calling me, telling me, everything you wanted, everything under the sun of why they can't pay me. And I got a phone call on March 28th, maybe March 29th at 3:45 in the morning from my partner in the lab. And he said that we've got all the machines that does COVID testing.
So your guy, what's his name?
Matt Haskin.
Matt Haskins, he calls you and says, hey, we
3:45
have all the
in the
stuff
morning.
we need.
And I'm up. I'm pacing my house at 3:45 in the morning.
Are you still up or are you already up?
I haven't been to bed because
Okay,
I needed to figure out, me being in fifth gear, I needed to figure out what I'm going to do with my life because now I'm 7 days into not getting a report from my restaurants.
And a report is a report of revenue.
Of revenue, exactly.
So if you
Of
when you say you
income.
didn't have a report, what you mean is I ain't got no freaking revenue.
I ain't got no money. So he said, hey, Brandon, I need you to, you need to figure out how to get these COVID testing. So I went out and, long story short, by June, I was a COVID testing lab. I had
Okay, now
two machines.
I'm going to pause you for a second.
No problem.
For the amateur, the total amateur of life.
Mm-hmm.
I get people asking me all the time, I don't know what to do first. I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do. So did you just start picking up the phone and making phone calls?
Yeah, I really just, I leaned on a friend of mine who was in the lab space, by the name of Steve D'Onofrio, and I said, how do I do this?
Okay.
And he says, you need to call this guy. Well, get him on the phone right now.
You called that guy.
And then he called me and he said, well, you need a lab director and you need this and you need that. And then all of a sudden it was a whiteboard and it was a Sharpie pen and it was a checklist. And it was like,
So anytime anybody said something that you didn't understand, you would put it on the whiteboard as a question.
Yep.
And then figure out how to erase that question mark.
100%.
And as soon as when you have a list of question marks, you convert those into statements.
Yep.
And you have power.
Yep. And so by June I was up and running. So
Okay, now you don't have to share actual numbers with the world,
okay.
but I want to get a sense. I want to give people the sense of, did you pivot in a way that replaced your revenue and gave you? I have a rule.
You have to answer it.
I know. No, I'm not answering this one.
No.
Sorry, Natalie. I'll call you back. Oh shoot, I just answered.
You did answer it.
Hey, Natalie, I'm literally in the middle of a podcast right now. Can I call you afterwards? I know. I know what you thought because of what I said. I'm sorry.
This guy doesn't even follow his own rules.
Okay, we'll catch you later afterwards. Okay, bye. Sorry.
So,
Did you?
yeah, I was doing, I doubled my income.
Oh.
I doubled my income.
Well, I doubled my income.
Well, no, I mean, listen, I was.
Do you know how many people were paralyzed with fear and dying and lost their businesses, lost their freaking houses
100%.
because they were paralyzed and they didn't take the action to take? This is a lesson for the entire world. When something happens completely outside your control, what do? You take
Dig in.
control.
Right. I will tell you that I found a great mentor that I don't know if if our paths will ever cross, but what Dana White did during COVID to go to Fight Island and be able to pull off what he did was an inspiration to me.
Can you just real quickly in brief, Reader's Digest version?
Yep.
If you don't know what Reader's Digest is, look in the encyclopedia. What did he do?
He basically uprooted the entire infrastructure of the UFC and put it on an island and said everybody that comes in
So
and
he could
out
make
of there,
his own rules?
Yep.
Or so he could protect everybody from this deadly disease. Called the
Protect
flu.
everybody from the deadly disease and continue to run his business.
Power.
And, that was an inspiration to me that says whatever you have to do to get to the finish line, you will do. So and I'll tell you that 3 months that we were getting this MPI number.
This is March, April, May, or April,
May, June.
2020.
2020. I was field testing for hand sanitizer. Because you remember everybody needed to have hand sanitizer. So I tested it because all the alcohol that was coming in, they were putting it in bottles and they had to test every single one. So I was testing at $25 a test. It cost me 20 cents, but I had to test. I moved the machines to downtown LA. There was nobody on the streets. I grabbed people that were...
Real quick on a side note. When there was no hand sanitizer anywhere to be found, it was gone.
Yep.
I put a Facebook post out, and it said, hey, fair warning, all of your hand sanitizer came from China.
Yep.
And there's COVID in it. Leave it on the front porch, and I'll come and pick it up for you.
Good for you.
No, I didn't really do it. It was a joke. Because I was going to start a hand sanitizer store with all the legend. Anyway, sorry.
So basically, I made a couple $100,000. April, May, June got me by. And then July, I started, got a contract with the Santa Ana School District or Santa Ana District to where we would just go door to door to swab people to make sure that they weren't, whatchamacallit. So from July to December, I did about $1.5 million in revenue. And then.
And you're swabbing who you swabbing?
Everybody. Everybody.
At school?
No, door to door.
Door to door. Like you went to people's houses and stuck something in their mouth?
We would have police escorted. We would have police that would shut down the street, and we would go into these low-income areas, housing projects, and we would just swab every single person.
This is because you had a lab that was doing something else before COVID.
Right.
And then you pivoted your lab, and now all of a sudden, Brandon is the authority in swabbing people's mouths.
I guess so, right. And I got a police escort to do it.
Wow.
So I did about $1.5 million, and then from there I get looked at from I got looked at to now the travel ban is on in 2021. So I picked up LA Airport, Los Angeles International Airport,
LAX, yeah.
San Francisco International Airport, San Diego International Airport, and every single person that was coming in or going out needed to be swabbed. So I did that from January to...
Did you have to assemble a team of people that would be on site with little swab
No,
sticks?
I outsourced that.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't like payroll.
Okay.
That's one thing I do not like. Is employees that love to
contract
sue
basis.
you in California.
So transactional relationships versus full marriages with everybody
exactly.
all the time. Okay.
Exactly. So January through July, I did the international testing for those 3 airports. And so that kind of went away in August, September. And then the teachers union got wind of how they could keep this ball rolling. And they said, we need to test every single person in the LA County School District twice a week. So the person that won that contract was a software company that did not have labs. So they went out and contracted with each lab and said, how much space do you have? We want to buy this space from you. You have to be credentialed to this one and this one and this one. And so I opened up my doors and said, I will close down my doors. I opened up my doors to this software company and I said, I'll close down my doors to just handle the LA County School District. And I did 140,000 tests in 90 days.
Okay. And how'd you get, what were those tests worth?
$125 a piece.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, that's too many zeros. I can't do that kind of math in my head. But 90 days.
90 days.
That was like a 90-day gig. And then it ended again? It ended?
No, and then we re-upped for January, February, March. And then in March, then COVID, March of 2022, COVID was kind of over. So, March of 22.
Magically appears and magically disappears.
Exactly. So I did about, I did 190,000 tests in 6 months.
Okay.
At $125 a piece.
Way to go, Brandon.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That ended.
Now,
did you see it ending, or did you think that would go on forever?
No, I saw it. In December of 21, I was like, this money train's going to quit any minute now. Okay. So I needed to figure out what else is.
Did you see it? Did you smell it? Or do you just know that everything changes and everything ends and you're just preparing for the next?
I really thought that at the end of the day, this COVID thing, this event was just the flu.
A controlled burn.
Yeah.
That, we're not going to get into this conspiracy theories.
I don't want to do that.
Because they're boring now. They all come true.
Right. I don't want to tell you, I told you so. I don't want to. So you want to.
You know what? You're too busy making the next thing happen.
Right.
For to even turn around and say, hey, I told you so.
Right.
Okay. So what's next?
My grandfather started in 1985, started buying, and my father started buying and selling apartments. Okay. And they would make the arbitrage. Okay. They'd buy it, they'd double escrow it. They'd buy it for $8 million, they'd sell it for $10 million, they'd make $2 million. Okay. That was in the 80s and the 90s. So I always loved real estate. So I always thought that at the end of the day, how do I get to that goal? How do I own doors to where the number one thing that somebody needs to pay for is rent? Nowadays, it's your cell phone, but,
Sure.
Back in the day, it was rent. So, nobody ever doesn't pay rent. So I always thought that at some point I wanted to get to that stage to where I could take my money now and I could start buying
Doors.
Well, I've got this lab that is producing money. Excuse me.
And capable of pivots.
So what else how can I integrate doors to labs? Okay. I mean,
Who's getting
what is
the
it?
most lab work?
Right.
Who is it? Who is it?
Senior citizens.
Oh, our elderly friends.
Which
is us soon.
Which is us sooner than we want. So I started the whiteboard again. And I went in and I said, how do I start buying senior living facilities, skilled nursing facilities that are elderly facilities that could have quality care. And what I mean by quality care is they get their lab results within 24 hours. They get prescription drugs within, at the location. How do they get quality lab work? Because I'll tell you, in any restaurant that I've ever had, in anything that I've ever done, customer service is the number one driving force of this.
And that urgency and that short wait time is
whether it's an experience that the family has with the facility or whether it's an experience the family has coming into my bowling alley.
I'm going to make a point, especially when you think about the health, illness, a mystery. I've got something going on with my body. The thing that kills people faster than anything is fear of the unknown. And so when you remove that mystery out of their mind within 24 hours and they know exactly what the problem is and now they know how to fix it next, I mean, that goes a long way.
Goes a long way. So I started down the path of, acquiring skilled nursing facilities. And, I got to the finish line of buying, 1,000 doors for $15 million. And I had to look at myself and do I want to get into this business in the middle of Nebraska and Iowa for $15 million with patients that I will probably never see and not be able to assist them the way that I want to assist them? And can I put a team around me that knows what they're doing? And I didn't feel comfortable. I just didn't feel like, am I going to push in all my chips with my entire personal financial statement leveraged to purchase this $15 million portfolio?
Something that's over there that you don't have control
I don't
over.
have my hands on. I'm in California and I'm in Texas.
That's outside your nature, and it's outside the spectrum of common sense as well.
Right. So right at the final, you need to send in $1 million to secure this thing, I passed on it.
11th hour.
At the 11th hour
you made a high-quality decision at the last minute.
and I
So
leaned on.
What'd you do instead? Everybody wants to know what you're doing now.
Well, I took the mechanisms of what I wanted to do with my facilities and said, hey, listen, how can I integrate this to other parts of this equation? So we went out and Bill Teeter, who is the man behind the curtain, who wants to be the man behind the curtain, has said on multiple occasions, let's take the elderly out of it, but let's go after the Medicaid population that does not get the proper service for healthcare that they deserve. And when the government says all the time or every 4 years that, we want to slash Medicare and Medicaid, and they don't want to do that. That's just one other talking point. What they do is that if you use the system that they have supplied to us, you could get proper care. There's too many people that want to extort the system that tries to make fast cash, that doesn't really want to use the system properly set up to where they are, okay? And what I mean by that is that Medicaid offers health care to low-income individuals, and how they have the ability of being able to get the health care is that they need a primary care physician. Well, 90% of Medicaid patients don't have a primary care physician, but what they do have from COVID is they've got teledocs. And what they do have from the government is an iPhone or a handheld device.
Right.
So they could legitimately get on the phone and talk to a doctor. And then that doctor could say, oh, you are on 10 drugs that you probably shouldn't be on. Why don't we give you a PGX test? And what I mean by a PGX test is a pharmacogenomics test that is able to tell you the proper drugs that you should be on.
Because you may be having some negative reactions from some of the
drugs. And how you metabolize these drugs and what the side effects are.
And how many times have you seen somebody on something that causes an effect, and then they have to take something to fix that effect?
How many times have you heard from your doctor, let's try this?
Oh, that makes me insane.
Let's try this. Are you telling me
you're
a doctor? And you're going to tell me that you are guessing to tell me what the proper medication is?
Is this a clinical trial?
Like, what are we doing here?
Oh,
you don't have my genomic profile to tell you what test to take?
Half the time, it's a drug company representative comes in there and says, hey, bro, guess what we're selling this week? However you got to do it, you got to sell this stuff and make money.
Oh, you got a high cholesterol. Oh, well, let's just put you on this drug and see if it works.
Well, okay, I'm no scientist or doctor, so I
Neither
got to be careful.
Neither am I.
But let's get back to where you're going. This podcast is going to end right in the middle of a sentence in a minute.
Okay.
So
basically what I'm doing is I took a COVID test that you're supposed to swab your mouth with to tell you if you have influenza A, influenza B, or COVID.
Okay.
And I repurposed that little swab to do a pharmacogenomics test to tell you what drugs you should take.
Really? So you can get that much information off of a swab
Off of
to
swab.
where your labs can determine or help their doctor determine what's going on with their body.
And then take it one step further. That lab result goes into a nice little platform that I'm creating that then shows you what medication you should be on. And then from there, you hit one button and it orders from my pharmacy that I mail to your house.
Genius. Okay, I got to say one thing real quick before we end this conversation.
Okay.
We've talked about Bill Teeter
Yes.
a few times. Just for the record, Bill Teeter worked for me, as many of you know, for about 10 years with my Shark Tank product.
I might have stolen from Rick. Rick.
No. It was a mutual. It was a mutual transfer of greatness.
Yes.
And so, and I knew Bill was gonna dwarf anything I ever do when he was 18.
Right.
When he got older, and here he is doing so much really amazing stuff. But here's Brandon and I are cut from a similar cloth. We're chaos.
Complete chaos.
Action. I mean, ready, shoot, aim. I mean,
Fire.
get out of the way. We listen. We make a lot of mistakes.
I pass you on the road when we're yelling because we're on the phone. We're on different phone conversations, but we're actually talking to the exact same thing.
But you and I are chaos.
Right.
Everybody like us needs somebody like Bill.
Correct.
Because you get chaos, you need order to be able to make money.
Correct.
So we're chaos.
He's order.
Bill is order.
Yep.
And he's what you might consider to be an integrator, a guy that takes who has the bandwidth and actually likes doing the stuff we hate to do.
Exactly.
So the major entrepreneurial principle in this conversation is
Surround yourself with better people than you.
no, not better people.
Calmer.
Hire people that love and are good at the things that we suck at, because we don't know if we hate it because we suck at it or if we suck at it because we hate it. Does it even matter?
Doesn't.
You guys need somebody in your life. If you own a business, if you got big visions, you got big dreams, you want to make stuff happen, go ahead and make your mess. But you're not going to be able to clean up your own mess. You need somebody like Bill Teeter to clean up your mess and turn your disasters into cash. So, Brandon, thank you so much for being on our
Rick, I really do appreciate being the first person. I hope to come back anytime you invite
Oh,
me.
you will. We got to do. We just barely scratched the surface.
We only got to 2022.
Oh my God, dude. Okay, we'll do it again soon.
Yeah.
My brother.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. 13 emails, 13 text messages.
Go, go, go,